applause as we welcome our dignitaries on the stage. Distinguished guests, esteemed delegates, ladies and gentlemen, once again a very good evening to everybody present here for this wonderful valedictory ceremony that we are all gathered here for. BRICS Friendship Cities Conclave this year, 2 days, 6 sessions, and here we are at the end of it. Some fruitful discussions happened all throughout, and today we are here to summarize everything up. Just to reiterate what happened in the entire conclave, for those who did not notice, our entire conclave was battery power through the use of generators as well. And the lanyards around your neck that you all are wearing, they are made sustainably and will be recycled into school bags as well once the event is done. And strict waste management of all the wet waste produced throughout the event is also going to be there. So the impact has already begun through all of the decisions that we had made. So on that note, to officially kickstart this wonderful ceremony that we're all here for, please join me in welcoming the governing board member, Mumbai First, Mr. Gul Kripalani on the stage. Big claps in the house as we have Sir on the stage to deliver his address.
Honorable Deputy Mayor of Mumbai, Shri Sanjay Ghadi, respected Municipal Commissioner of Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation, Srimati Ashwini Bhede, Joint Secretary, Multilateral Economic Relationship, and G20 Sue Sherpa, Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India, Mr. Shambhu Hakki, and Dr. Kilaparti Ramakrishna, Director of Marine Policy Center and Senior Advisor and President on Ocean and Climate Policy, distinguished delegates from various BRICS countries, speakers, partners, and friends, good afternoon. It is my privilege and gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to the valedictory session of the BRICS Friendship Cities Conclave 2026 today. Over the past 2 days, Mumbai has had the privilege of hosting an exceptional gathering of city leaders, policymakers, experts, practitioners, and institutions from across the BRICS community and beyond. For Mumbai First, this conclave represents an important expression of our long-standing commitment to bringing together the public and private sectors, government, industry, academia, civil society, and international partners to address the challenges facing our cities. Mumbai First has always believed that complex urban challenges require collaborative solutions. This conclave has taken that philosophy to an international level by creating a platform for cities to learn from one another and explore new avenues of cooperation. The theme of this conclave, Building for Resilience, Innovation, Cooperation and Sustainability, has been reflected meaningfully in our discussions, from climate resilience and coastal cities to sustainable mobility, circular economy, inclusive housing, air quality, and digital governance. I would like to express our sincere gratitude to the Government of India, Government of Maharashtra, and Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation for their support and guidance. We are equally grateful to all our international delegations, speakers, moderators, partners, and institutions who have contributed to this important dialogue. What has been particularly encouraging is a willingness of cities to share not only their successes, but also their experiences and lessons, because meaningful cooperation begins with a willingness to learn from one another. We hope that the relationships established here will continue beyond these 2 days and translate into meaningful city-to-city institutional and private-public collaborations. A successful conclave is not measured only by conversations it creates, but by the collaborations that follow. I invite Dr. Kilaparti Ramakrishna, Senior Advisor to the President and Director of Ocean and Climate Policy, to take us through the highlights and key takeaways of the conclave. I thank you all.
Before we let Sir address the audience, we will quickly felicitate our guests for giving us their valuable time and being here at this moment. So may I please request Mr. Roger Pereira, Vice Chairman Mumbai First, to kindly come forward and felicitate our dignitaries. Can we have a clap for Mr. Roger as he comes up to felicitate our dignitaries? So first up, we will present to Srimati Ashwini Bhide, Municipal Corporation Commissioner, Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai. A big clap in the house as we have the felicitation process go forward. Next up, may I please request Shri Sanjay Gadi, the Honorable Deputy Mayor, Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation, to kindly come forward. Big claps in the house as we have the felicitation go forward. Up next, may I please invite Shri Shambhu Hakki, Su Sherpa, Joint Secretary, MER and G20, Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India, to kindly come forward next. Claps in the house as we have the felicitation. And lastly, may I please request Dr. Kilaparti Ramakrishna, Senior Advisor to the President and Director on Ocean and Climate Policy, Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution. Big claps and applause once again as we felicitate Dr. Kilaparti Ramakrishna. Thank you very much, and thank you very much to Mr. Roger Pereira as well for coming up and doing the honors. Well, on that note, it's time to now look back at the conversations and the key themes that we had discussed over the last 2 days. So up next on the stage, may I please invite the Senior Advisor to the President and Director on Ocean and Climate Policy, Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution, with Dr. Kilaparti Ramakrishna on the stage. Can we have a big applause as he comes up to address you all?
It is a great honor for me to be here, and I want to thank the organizers for the invitation. I'm also conscious of the fact that in the audience, not only do I have several friends, but some family members as well. That puts additional pressure on me to get the message right. So I have written this down, and so please bear with me as I read this through very quickly. One of the things that I learned during the 2-day conclave in the various coffee sessions, lunch, dinner sessions, is the intensity with which the participants discussed the panels, what was going on, what they felt about it, and also the questions that they wanted to ask and how they could not ask, but then they wanted to make sure that they have it here. So that really tells me not only of the engagement of the audience, but the scholarship and the practical knowledge that the panelists have brought to this conclave. With that as the prefatory remarks, let me go into my prepared text. I was also advised that instead of just giving a summary of what happened in the past 2 days, that I also look to the future, from dialogue to action. So my remarks are tailored along those lines. Excellencies, mayors, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, it is both a privilege and an honor to offer a few reflections as we bring this year's BRICS Friendship Cities Conclave to a close. Over the past 2 days, we have heard outstanding presentations from city leaders, scientists, planners, engineers, entrepreneurs, and practitioners. We have discussed resilient infrastructure, climate adaptation, coastal resilience, artificial intelligence, the panel that just finished, sustainable mobility, urban planning, public health, finance, and innovation. Each session explored a different dimension of urban development. Yet, as I listened carefully, I found myself arriving at one simple conclusion. This conclave was not really about cities. It was about our common future. The challenges confronting Mumbai are increasingly shared by other cities around the world. Rio de Janeiro, Shanghai, Johannesburg, Moscow, Abu Dhabi, and countless other cities. Rising seas, the very first panel that was held here, do not recognize national borders. Heat waves do not carry passports. Air pollution, flooding, water scarcity, and climate-induced migration remind us that our cities are connected not only by commerce and culture, but also by shared risks. If there is one lesson emerging from this conclave, it is this: the future of international cooperation will increasingly be written through cities. I'm pleased to be sitting next to one of the mayors in this conference, and I want to tell him and all of you in particular that some years ago I chanced upon Benjamin Barber's thought-provoking book with an interesting title, If Mayors Ruled the World. His argument was not that mayors should replace national governments, but that cities are often where the world's greatest challenges are confronted most directly and where political solutions emerge most quickly. I had the pleasure of being a resident of both the cities of Boston and New York City, and the mayors are oftentimes judged in terms of what they do to the people on a daily basis. If there is a massive snowfall, are they clearing it? If there are drainage issues, are they taking care of it? And so they are the ones, the interface between the general public and the government. After listening to the discussions over these 2 days, I find myself thinking that perhaps Barber, the author of this book, was onto something. At almost the same time, we gather here in Mumbai, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change is preparing its first ever special report on climate change and cities. The first draft is now available for expert review. That alone is a remarkable milestone. It reflects a growing global recognition that cities are no longer simply places where climate change is experienced. They are where climate action will increasingly succeed or fail. Climate agreements may be negotiated in New York, Geneva, Bonn, or at the annual conference of the parties, but they are ultimately implemented or fail in cities. That makes your work and the work of this conclave enormously important. Cities are where climate change is experienced first. They are where innovation happens the fastest. They are where citizens expect governments to deliver practical solutions. And increasingly, they are where global agreements become local reality. Technology alone will not solve our problems. Artificial intelligence, digital twins, smart infrastructure, advanced analytics, and new forms of urban mobility offer extraordinary opportunities. But as several speakers reminded us, technology must always be accompanied by wisdom, ethics, inclusion, and good governance. Perhaps that is why one message from the opening session, when both the governor and the deputy chief minister called on us to challenge ourselves. We were challenged not simply to build smart cities, we were challenged to build wise cities. The distinction is profound. A smart city uses technology, a wise city uses technology in the service of the people. A smart city becomes more efficient, a wise city becomes more resilient and more inclusive, more sustainable and ultimately more equitable and humane. That, I believe, is the aspiration we should all carry home from Mumbai. Another theme that resonated throughout the conclave was partnership. The BRICS countries represent nearly half of humanity. Collectively, they possess extraordinary scientific capability, engineering expertise, financial resources, entrepreneurial talent, and cultural diversity. No city has all the answers. Every city has some of the answers. The opportunity before us is to learn from one another. Friendship among cities is therefore no longer simply a diplomatic gesture or a cultural exchange. It is becoming an instrument of resilience. It is becoming a platform for innovation, and increasingly, it is becoming an essential mechanism for global problem solving. Ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished guests, I am trained as an international lawyer, and I spent a significant part of my professional life working in the United Nations and for the United Nations. But I have learned one enduring lesson. Global agreements matter, but they matter only when they are translated into local action. Whether we speak of the Sustainable Development Goals, the Paris Agreement, biodiversity, disaster risk reduction, or climate resilience, implementation ultimately happens in cities and communities. That is why gatherings like this one are becoming increasingly important. They bridge the gap between global aspiration and local implementation. Allow me, therefore, to conclude with one suggestion. Let us remember the conclave not simply for excellent presentations, stimulating discussions, and generous hospitality. Let it become the beginning of a sustained partnership among BRICS cities, a partnership that continues exchanging knowledge, that develops joint demonstration projects, that shares data and best practices, and that mobilizes finance, that trains the next generation of urban leaders, and that measures progress, and above all, that demonstrates to the world that international cooperation still works. History will not remember us for the number of conferences we organized. It will remember us for whether our collaboration made our cities safer, healthier, more prosperous, and more resilient. Benjamin Barber, the author I quoted a while ago, asked whether mayors could rule the world. I would frame the question a little differently. The real challenge before us is not whether mayors rule the world, it is whether cities can help lead the world toward a more resilient, sustainable, and equitable future. If the conversations we have started over these 2 days is any indication, I believe the answer is a resounding yes. So let the message that leaves Mumbai be this. The future belongs not to cities that compete alone, but to cities that learn together, innovate together, and build resilience together. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, sir, once again for those lovely remarks. Well, on that note, let's move on to inviting someone very special on the stage who is here to share his perspectives and dimensions to all the conversations that we had over the last 2 days. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Su Sharpa, Joint Secretary, MER and G20, Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India, Shri Shambhu Hakki on the stage. Big claps and cheers in the house as we welcome him to address you all.
Good afternoon. First of all, on behalf of External Affairs Ministry and everybody at the BRICS team, I would like to thank the organizer, Mumbai First, and then the excellent hospitality that they have shown us to us, my colleague here, for coming here and share some of the aspects of India's chairship of BRICS. Some of you would know that what is this BRICS about, but before I come to that, I want to recognize the excellencies, the mayors, and then the honorable, all the delegates from who have come all the way from the BRICS countries. And some of you would know that we are the chair. India is the chair of BRICS this year. We are chairing it for the 4th time. BRICS this year is completing 20 years. It started in 2006 when the 4 foreign ministers of then 4 BRIC countries met. And since then, the organization has grown beyond 5 countries now. We have 11 members and 10 partner countries. And in our chairship, taking cue from the Honorable Prime Minister's vision of building BRICS for resilience, innovation, cooperation, sustainability, we have made it as a theme of our chairship. In that chairship, so far we have held more than 300 events, including this one, all over India. In 30 cities, the events have been held. We'll have a summit in September, and before that, there will be many more events. So, as we are chairing the BRICS chairship this year, the 1st January to December, and this is going to have more than 400 events. Some of the speakers before me had mentioned about practical solutions, and then that have to be done at the local level. And this is something that India is aspiring to do through the multilateral engagement. So I'm very glad to be here, and yesterday I missed coming here since the parliament was in session. So therefore, today I sat through some of the sessions and very interesting ideas that emerging. First of all, I would like to thank Government of Maharashtra, especially Ma'am Ashwini Ma'am for the Mumbai Commissioner, and then therefore the hospitality that they have provided to organizing this event, and our esteemed delegates from BRICS countries. And over the past 2 days, all of you had very rich and substantive discussion on some of the most pressing challenges confronting our cities today. What has been particularly encouraging for me that our discussions have focused not only on the challenges, but also on practical experiences, solutions and opportunities for cooperation. In fact, today there was a discussion on the air pollution, and then how countries after countries presented how they have dealt this issue. So that reminds us that the challenges that we face today are not alone, are only too specific to us. They are the very common challenges. Therefore, the international cooperation is all the more important to resolve these issues. So as India assumed BRICS chairship in 2026, we did so with a clear sense of purpose. Our chairship is guided by the vision of humanity first. That means that whatever we do as a government, as an institution, or as a multilateral body, ultimately it has to help people. And theme that we have chosen, and you have seen in the logo, everything there, is that building resilience, innovation, cooperation, sustainability. Behind these words lies one of the central conviction: BRICS must deliver for people and not just for governments. So people are the center of our BRICS chairship, and the vision also places the people in the center. Therefore, a lot of activities, including this one, where cities have become important part of our civilization, our growth, and therefore it's important to place most important part of some of the common challenges that our cities face. So cities are not merely administrative units, they are engines of economic growth and centers of innovation, and increasingly frontline of our response to climate change and other emerging challenges. So the discussion at this conclave had demonstrated how closely the priorities that our cities have and our cities converse, whether it's Shanghai, Beijing, Bombay, or any other city. So all these cities have one thing in common, that these have become a center of people where live and the challenges they face. So in the first session on protecting coastal cities highlighted the shared challenges posed by sea level rise, coastal erosion and flooding. For a city like Mumbai, these are immediate and lived realities. The experiences shared by cities such as Shanghai or Jakarta demonstrate the value of learning from one another in resilient infrastructure, climate risk assessment, and nature-based solutions. And the discussion on about cooling our cities is an interesting one also, brought another important dimension of climate resilience, how we are dealing with the rising temperatures, but also how it impacts the public health. livelihoods, and the quality of life in our cities. So therefore, there is a considerable scope for BRICS cities to exchange experiences on green infrastructure, climate responsive urban design, and sustainable cooling solutions as well. Our discussions also on integrated and low carbon transport reminded us that our cities grow. Mobility systems must become cleaner, more efficient, and more accessible. Mumbai has done a wonderful work in that urban mobility part of it, and there's some of the examples are being carried out in other parts of the cities. So experiences that we have in public transport, electrical mobility, and smart transport systems can provide valuable lessons for all the BRICS cities. Excellencies, resilience is not all about physical infrastructure. It is also about ensuring that our cities remain inclusive and healthy. The session on housing for AI brought the focus on affordable housing, informal settlements, and community-led urban regeneration. The discussion reinforced that importance of ensuring the urban development remains people-centered and that the benefits of growth reach all sections of society. The cities have become an increasingly an important provider of opportunities for the people, drawing millions of people from the rest of the country. So therefore, it's important that the housing is also an issue. Similarly, the session on urban air pollution brought together environmental and health dimensions of urban development. As some of our own cities are dealing with this challenge, it is important to learn how the other cities and which had similar problems have faced this issue and how they were able to resolve them. And finally, our discussion on AI-enabled urban governance brought us one of the most rapidly evolving areas of urban development. Artificial intelligence has the potential to transform public service delivery and urban decision making. At the same time, its adoption must remain responsible, inclusive, and responsive to the needs of the citizens. What connects all these discussions, if at all, to sum up, excellences, is the recognition that no city has all the answers. Some of only answers are spread around the world. So therefore, but every city has experience that can be shared. And this is one of the forum. I really congratulate Mumbai First and all the leaders of Mumbai First for thinking about it. In fact, they had hosted the similar one in 2016. And this conclave brings together some of the policymakers, the people who think about cities and how they stay healthy. So bringing them and providing them a platform is most important. I would say it's one of our most important aspects of our India chairship. So therefore, as we listen to the leaders who came here and shared their experiences, then we realize that there is a more benefit for us to cooperate and work with others, since we alone don't have all the answers. So therefore, our endeavor should now be able to take these conversations beyond the conclave and translate them into practical cooperation through technological exchanges, for example, study visits, sharing of the best practices, joint research, and where feasible, collaborative pilot projects. Therefore, we also need to study how others have overcome this challenge. So that would provide us some template for us to work. So also the BRICS continues to evolve. As you know, already, as I said, initially the 5 members, now it has been 11 members, an addition of 10 partner countries. As the BRICS evolve, the city-to-city cooperation can add an important people-centered dimension of our partnership. We really look forward to taking this spirit of cooperation forward and to see that friendships of our cities grow into enduring partnership. I once again thank Mumbai First, the Government of Maharashtra, the Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai, and all of the other organizations. Today, I had a chance to meet some of the best minds in the urban planning and urban thing, and I'm really thankful for all of you for giving me this opportunity. On behalf of Government of India, Minister of External Affairs, and the entire BRICS team, I wish all the best for such initiative to continue, and we will be very happy to work with Government of Maharashtra, Mumbai First, and other organizations in making our cities a better places to live. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much once again, sir, for talking to us. On that note, I now have the pleasure of inviting someone very special whose presence will bring in the perspective of Mumbai's civic leadership to this important session. Ladies and gentlemen, on the dais, we are honored to have with us our Honorable Deputy Mayor, Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation. Please put your hands together and welcome Shri Sanjay Ghadi on the stage for us. Round of applause as we welcome him to address you all.
नमस्कार। आपकी अनुमति से मैं हिंदी मराठी में बोलना चाहता हूँ। व्यासपीठावर उपस्थित आमच्या मुंबई शहराच्या हुशार आणि धडाडीच्या आमच्या आयुक्त सन्माननीय अश्विनी भिडे मॅडम, सर्व व्यासपीठावरील सन्माननीय मान्यवर, ब्रिक्स या संस्थेच्या माध्यमातून एकत्रित झालेले सर्व आपण उपस्थित मान्यवर आणि हा ज्यांनी कार्यक्रम केला ते इंडिया फर्स्टचे सर्व सम्माननीय आयोजक बंधु आणि भगिनीनों, मैं पहले आपका सबका स्वागत करना चाहता हूँ मुंबई महानगर पालिका की ओर से। एक बहुत ही अच्छा कार्यक्रम यहाँ पे आप सभी कंट्रीज को इकट्ठा करके यहाँ पे कर रहे हैं। अभी जस्ट कुछ वक्ताओं का भाषण सुनते हुए समझ में आया और जो आयोजकों ने मुझे बताया था कि ये अलग अलग 9 देशों से यहाँ पे प्रतिनिधि आए हैं। हमारे जैसे डिप्टी मेयर है, उनके रिप्रेजेंटेटिव है। हर एक शहर के अलग अलग इशू है और बहुत से कॉमन इशू है, लेकिन हम जब भी एक साथ इस इशू के ऊपर चर्चा करते हैं तो हर एक सिटी को अलग अलग अपने सुझाव और उनके टेक्निक हमें पता चलते हैं आणि म्हणूनच याच्यासाठी अनेक मान्यवरांनी आपल्याला सर्वांना मार्गदर्शन केलेलं आहे। मी इंडिया फर्स्टच्या सर्व आयोजकांचा मनापासून मी आभार व्यक्त करतो। आमच्या कमिशनर मॅडम मुंबई शहराचे प्रश्न अधिक चांगल्या पद्धतीने तुमच्या सर्वांच्या समोर मांडतील। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद, जय महाराष्ट्र।
Thank you very much, sir, for talking to us. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to welcome someone very special on the stage, the moment that we're all been waiting for. It's my absolute privilege to welcome on the stage someone who is an administrative leadership team, part of the Mumbai Civic Institution. Her address will bring into you all city-level perspective as we conclude this wonderful session. Ladies and gentlemen, with me in the house, we have the Municipal Commissioner, Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai. Please put your hands together and welcome Srimati Ashwini Bhide on the stage for you all.
Honorable Deputy Mayor of Mumbai, all the dignitaries on the dais, honorable ministers, excellencies, distinguished mayors, civic leaders, panelists, esteemed delegates who have come for this conclave, all the representatives of diplomatic corps, academia, civil society, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to all. It's a profound honor and privilege to be here and deliver this valedictory address as we conclude BRICS Friendship Cities Conclave 2026 in Mumbai. I'm told this is a very, very well represented conclave. Out of 11 member countries of BRICS, 9 were present here. 2 more partner countries were also present. And this itself was a absolutely wonderful initiative. The demands of my current role as Municipal Commissioner precluded me from attending the session despite my wish, but I was properly briefed on what transpired in various panel discussions and different sessions which took place in this conference. Over the past 2 days, this forum has witnessed intense, constructive and forward-looking deliberations across 6 pivotal themes which define modern urbanism. From safeguarding coastal cities against rising sea levels and managing urban heat islands through nature-based solution to expanding low-carbon transit systems, delivering inclusive housing, combating urban air pollution, and leveraging artificial intelligence for smarter governance. All these discussions have reflected both the urgency and immense potential of our shared future. On behalf of Mumbai Municipal Corporation, I express my deep gratitude to Mumbai First, the Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India, and Government of Maharashtra, and all our esteemed delegates for choosing Mumbai as the canvas for this invaluable platform of city diplomacy. The overarching message of this conclave is very clear. The future of humanity will be determined by the future of cities. We all know that cities are not only the administrative units, but they are engines of growth. Today, more than half of world's population lives in urban areas. Cities generate over 80% of global economic output while simultaneously absorbing the fiercest impacts of climate change, migration, and infrastructure demands. As urban administrators and policymakers, our challenge is no longer merely managing urban expansion, but it is governing comprehensive urban transformation. The measure of our cities will not rest solely on the scale of their physical infrastructure, but on their ecological resilience, institutional agility, digital inclusivity, and the quality of life and the standards of livability which we offer to our citizens. As one of the largest coastal megacities, Mumbai exemplifies both the extreme vulnerabilities and the extraordinary dynamism of 21st century urbanization. Managing a metropolis of over 20 million people, where economic vitality, because Mumbai is the financial capital of India, so economic vitality intersects with different challenges like monsoon surges, high density living, rapid growth, and this demands continuous innovation. Mumbai is not just a participant in global urban conversations, we are an active laboratory for scalable solutions. Through Mumbai Municipal Corporation and other entities which are trying to improve Mumbai's livability and infrastructure, we have pioneered integrated frameworks that align with the core themes of this conclave. For example, if you take coastal and climate resilience, through nature-based solutions, integrated stormwater management and targeted climate adaptation, strategies under the Mumbai Climate Action Plan, we are actively strengthening our coastal defenses and flood preparedness. So Mumbai is the first city to prepare the Climate Action Plan. In all our projects, like Mumbai Coastal Road projects, the challenges of rising sea levels are taken into account. We are also preparing, because Mumbai is the city which receives almost 3,000 millimeters of rainfall every year. And with extreme weather events, we face the challenges which are posed by floods. And we are already preparing a plan to deal with. We have been working on it, but we are fine-tuning that plan. And the conversations which happen in this conclave might help us and guide us in our path ahead. In order to strengthen the low carbon mass transit and infrastructure, we are taking different measures, from expanding the electric bus fleets to constructing world-class metro rail network. We have embarked upon a structural shift towards integrated, sustainable and low carbon urban mobility. Mumbai is the city which anyway boasts for having more than 70% of its trips on public transport. However, we are in the process of shifting our current heavily loaded public transport system to a new low carbon transit network, and we are already working on it. This particular premises is connected to airport by a very beautiful underground aqualine metro, which the city has recently constructed. As far as inclusive urban regeneration is concerned, it is being propagated through slum redevelopment, cluster development, targeted housing initiatives, and localized civic interventions with the objective to bridge urban divides and foster community-led regeneration. Mumbai is the city where still 40% of its population lives in slums, but state government and various entities of the state government have been working on a slum rehabilitation plan. We have been able to reduce the number of people living in slums from 6.5 million to 4 million. but there is a long way to go. Government is continuously improvising its strategy, and while doing that, the challenges of climate change, the challenges of posed by flood and extreme weather events are also taken into account. So we have moved to the concept of cluster development, where the inclusive housing is also generated, and at the same time the area planning is improved in a better way. BMC is increasingly embedding artificial intelligence, real-time data analytics and digital platforms into disaster management, traffic optimization, solid waste management and citizen-centric delivery, enhancing transparency, efficiency and public trust. Of course, there is a long way to go and there is a huge scope for improvement, and such forums will provide us with other examples the other cities have followed which we can emulate. I'm sure all the cities present in the summit must have initiated multiple measures to deal with the challenges, and they were very well presented in this summit. Yet, as these past 2 days have demonstrated, that no city can solve today's urban challenges in isolation, and we have to partner with each other. Climate risks do not stop at municipal boundaries, and technological evolutions move faster than traditional bureaucracy. The primary value of the BRICS Friendship Cities Network lies in the exchange of practical implementation experience. Technology and capital are critical, but the most precious currency we can share is institutional knowledge. What worked, what failed, what policies were adopted on the ground, and this forum was the best platform where people could exchange these ideas, and we need to see how we can foster the relationships which are built during the summit. When Moscow shares insights on digital platforms, Shanghai on smart city architecture and air pollution, Durban on air quality monitoring, Jakarta on coastal defense, or Kazan on adaptive traffic management, or Indian cities like Ahmedabad or Kalyan Dombivli on the heat action plan or the urban cooling, we shorten the learning curve for every urban center across the global south. Global commitments and sustainable development goals are ultimately realized through local municipal action. As we bring this conclave to a formal close, our duty as administrators and urban leaders is to ensure that these discussions do not end as we leave this room. Let us translate the dialogue of the past 2 days into concrete, long-term institutional mechanism. And they could be of joint technical exchanges. We can establish direct working partnerships between city departments to share operational best practices. We can have knowledge and innovation networks, building shared digital depositories for climate adaptations, AI tools, and urban planning models across BRICS partner cities. Policy co-creation, learning from each other's regulatory and municipal governance models to build institutions that plan for generations rather than the short-term cycles. So our challenges are unique, but we share the same challenges, and that's why it is very important that we learn from each other, learn to know how we have dealt with the challenges in some countries and where, or some cities, and where the other cities can emulate and learn further or improvise further for what they have done. To all our international delegates and visitors, I hope you have experienced not only the professional insights of this conclave, but also the warmth, resilience, and unyielding spirit of Mumbai. May you return to your countries and relative cities with valuable partnerships, new frameworks, and renewed confidence that when cities collaborate, humanity progresses. I'm sure with the help of Bombay First and the Ministry of External Affairs, we can build a long-term platform where we can share knowledge and experiences with each other and make all our cities a better living place. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, ma'am, once again for joining us and sharing your inspiring address with us. Well, on that note, to formally share some concluding remarks and officially close BRICS Friendship Cities Conclave this year, I have the honor of welcoming Vice Admiral Girish Luthra, retired as well as a governing board member, Mumbai First. Can we have a big clap in the house to welcome sir on the stage to close this for us?
Dignitaries on the dais, esteemed
delegates from BRICS and BRICS partner countries, distinguished invitees, ladies and gentlemen. Let me first say that when we started curating this conclave, the first thought that came to us was to align it fully with the theme that India has for its chairship in BRICS 2026. And therefore, if you see, all 6 sessions were aligned with the overall theme which the Sherpa mentioned that India has for 2026. We also looked at, as the Honorable Prime Minister has stated, that we need to build upon the work done by BRICS over the last several years, particularly in the recent times. So we looked at all the BRICS, the work that has been done, not necessarily in the field of sustainable development and coastal cities, but across different sectors of BRICS that the BRICS has been looking at, and with specific focus on emerging markets and developing economies, EMDs as they are called, as also the LDCs, that is least developed countries, with these as our thrust areas because they have very similar challenges, vulnerabilities, particularly in the light of rapid urbanization. So we also looked at the Rio Declaration because Brazil was the last chair before India. And in addition to the statement on framework declaration on climate finance, which was the first time such a declaration had been made, there were also recommendations through a separate section. There was a separate section in the declaration last year on combating climate change and promoting sustainable, fair, and inclusive development. So we thought of building on that and looking at the effects under BRICS Partnership for Urban Environment Sustainability, which is an existing forum, and the need for greater, more equitable, livable, healthy, conducive, and less congested urban environment. We also sought to link with some of the sustainable urban development initiatives with the BRICS frameworks which relate to finance, trade, and investments. Because again, a lot of activity in urban centers is linked to the financial trade and investment initiatives, which has been initially the driving force of the BRICS agenda. Within this, some mention has been made about each of the themes, each of the 6 sessions that we had on coastal cities, and subsequently on cooling of our cities. In each of these sessions, there were a few different points, but there were a few strands that ran common between all the sessions. Strands that ran common included the need for monitoring, real-time monitoring, whether it is related to coastal issues or whether it is related to heat mitigation. The real-time monitoring adaptation was a common theme. Similarly, there was a common theme of green cover, similarly nature-based solutions. Things like some of these themes ran common in each of the sessions. We also saw that different cities had experienced, and what was good about the conclave was that everybody was very frank, candid, and open about what has worked, what is working well, and what has not worked so well in their respective cities. And of course, there was a clear recognition that one size doesn't fit all, and what works for one city may not work for another city, but yet many of the principles remain common. As long as those principles are understood, you can tailor the solutions for your specific requirements in your specific cities. We also had some fascinating session on integrated and low carbon transport infrastructure, where Shanghai, Kazan, Curitiba, Sao Paulo, etc. were discussed. And another common theme was moving from fragmentation to integration. Integration across planning, integration across data, integration across facilities. And there were many interesting examples how this integration can be achieved rather than fragmented urban planning, urban data monitoring, and urban facilities being provided which are citizen facing. Air pollution, of course, was discussed in some detail, and I think there was a common understanding that there is a lot to learn from one another in this important area. And India, as was brought out, is now on the path to making these interesting and useful steps as far as air pollution control is concerned. Housing, we looked at different cities once again, and so also on AI-enabled urban governance and public policy. On the whole, several key takeaways, and as this conference came, as the Sherpa mentioned, that we have the Leaders Summit coming up in September, in middle of September, and so it's now just about a month to the Leaders Summit, and so this is very timely, and some of the inputs from here hopefully will feed into the discussions and the subsequent statements that get issued after the Leaders Summit. We also feel that this process that has been established, or this structure that has been established, needs to be institutionalized in some form. The cooperation between cities needs to be institutionalized between BRICS countries, because the value of this has been recognized, but that, as many speakers before me have said, that value has to be translated into transformative action. And for that, I think continuity is important. Just having a BRICS conclave every time India is the chair may not be the only way to go forward. And we may need to do it as a continuous engagement with the BRICS countries and BRICS partner countries. So at the end, let me say that it has been a distinct honor and privilege for Mumbai First to host the Friendship Cities Conclave 2026. We are thankful for all the support. I do not want to once again repeat all the names, but for all the support that we have received and for all the participation that we have seen in this conference, and we have been overwhelmed by all this that has happened since yesterday. We look forward to taking the deliberations and learnings from this conference to an actionable agenda, and we look forward to a strong and dynamic, mutually beneficial collaboration amongst BRICS cities to carry forward our collective efforts. With those words, ladies and gentlemen, we bring this conclave to a close. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Like sir was mentioning, the conclave has officially closed. So one clap once again for everybody in the house who has made this wonderful conclave possible. On that note, I request all of our dignitaries on the stage to join us for a group photograph to capture this memorable moment. After which, we'll also have the national anthem. So I request our audience to kindly stay back in the hall. May I please request everyone to kindly rise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक नायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You've been wonderful. Have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you so much for being here.